To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
Please.
It's because I'm begging him to come back to Pittsburgh now.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure. Now, we can get to business 3 o'clock. If you're looking for Michigan State, Odyssey.com Rewind. We handled it. Dusty May, I don't know. I don't know what's in the water in Ann Arbor. But Lions have made what probably will be their splash signing. It's DJ Reed, corner from the Jets. The pricing is not egregious. It looks like a little bit of a, hey, I want to play for a winner versus BJC Horn. And is he the best of a bad free agent class? Yeah. I mean, is he better than Carlton Davis? I can't say that. If you want a fun factoid, he led the league in pass interference penalties with 7. Tied with his new starting corner opposite him, Terrion Arnold. So, look, I'm fine with it. I'm indifferent. But I'm not going to sit here and pop champagne bottles. How could I? I told you the last 2 weeks, I don't like DJ Reed. He draws a ton of penalties. It's kind of a zone corner. I do wonder if there will be more zone in your future. New DC, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm not angry. I'm not elated. I treat it a lot like Carlton Davis. If you have a perfect player, they very rarely hit free agency. This free agent class league-wide is being panned as awful, regardless of position. It's an awful free agent class. So you didn't overpay. I don't know that he's going to be fantastic. He might be good. Fine. You know where I stand. If I'm going to spend big money, I'm doing it up front. Now, if there's a way, Rico, that by getting DJ Reed, I still have a pathway to a Trey Hendrickson, a pathway to adding up front, then I'll be more excited about it. My worry is, for some reason, they brought back Marcus Davenport. For some reason, they decided, and again, I agree with John Jansen on this point. It's not about the player, Derek Barnes. It's about the price. I'm not spending $8.5 million on a part-time linebacker. I'm just not doing it. But they love their own players, something Dan Campbell swore they had to be careful of.
And I guess Za'Darius wasn't considered their own player.
But he also was expendable in the same way that if they had anyone on the roster who was young and cheap and decent, DJ Reader would be expendable. Wasn't the same guy last year. But he's not expendable because they don't have any defensive tackle depth anybody cares about.
So what's Za'Darius going to do with his championship ring?
Take it to the pawn shop. I don't know.
Oh, wow. You know, honestly, I'd like to think that they're going to make a big splash. I don't.
This is the splash.
I think they are going to tell you, you need to just get a chef's hat for Brad, give him the draft. It's deep in defensive linemen, rush ins, and just let him go away and pick away and bring in players. Because right now, maybe they're tipping their hands saying they're going to play more zone.
I don't know. I don't know.
Instead of man, because, right, I mean, when you hit me with the stat pre-show, I was like, wait.
That's just for fun. And I mean, listen, I'm not telling you, hey, maybe 2 of the calls he got screwed. 7 PIs is 7 PIs. The top 2 corners in the league are now your starting corners, 14 pass interferences. It is what it is. Will Terrion get better? Sure. I don't know. Look, DJ Reed got attacked a lot. And I'm not saying he's a bad corner. He's not. He's good. I don't think he's great. It's the same thing I said about Carlton Davis last year. And you guys killed me. And I hated his injury history. How'd it work out? I'm fine with Reed. But do I think you're better year over year? No. I think it's a push. I think Carlton Davis and DJ Reed are very similar players. So good on you to not get worse. I'm good with that. And you do have Rakestraw and Amik and Terrion Arnold. Okay, so we've got 4 corners for 3 spots. Maybe the Vildor experience continues. But what are you going to do for a pass rush? And again, I still think you need a defensive tackle on a run-stuffing basis. I still think you need more depth up there. Because, look, Aleem McNeil's a disruptor, and he's fantastic. He's coming off another catastrophic lower body injury. don't know. I'm okay, but I feel like in this town, unless you walk around with your flagpole up in the air, people look at you like you're a hater. And it's like, no, I don't hate it.
No, I think in this town, I think people have just come to the fact of they're going to just let Brad go into the draft because that's his strength. You take care of your own, check.
Okay.
You're going to go into the draft, and you're going to find some more people who are going to be all pro as rookies, and you're going to do all of this stuff.
Here's the
and
facts.
Everything will be fine,
Here's
and
the
you
facts.
don't need to bring in an outsider.
For a last year grade, you had one of the 5 worst drafts in football. You had a bottom 5 draft in football for what that draft did for you last year. Arnold wasn't good. Rakestraw didn't play. You had a mystery guy who doesn't know how to play American football. You had a special teamer turned safety turned running back who didn't play. Does this sound familiar?
No, it does.
So look,
No.
my point is you don't get to pretend you had the Eagles draft last year.
No, but what you do is you sit there and say, but look, he went and got J-Mo, he went and got Gibb, and he got Branch, he got Kirby.
That's great.
And he'll find all of these people. And you forget last year was not the follow-up draft that you wanted to see. Last year was...
No, and it's okay in a rebuilding sense.
Right.
But when it's your window, when it's now, I do need immediacy.
Yes, because
that's where I caution people.
I look at Vaikai and Manu as 2 guys that you could have drafted in the 3rd and 4th round to put on in your D-line that at the end of the season, they would have had to go in there and play, but maybe you would have had a diamond in the rough. Maybe you would have found your 4th round Ahmad-Ra for the defensive line, but you chose to go experimental. And that's why I had a problem with that.
And listen, I told you for weeks, and I'll say it today. I'm not going to say a negative word. They didn't do anything wrong with the Myles Garrett thing. You don't get to say they didn't try. You don't get to say they failed. Myles Garrett got bribed, period. Ted DiBiase style. He got bribed. 35? No. 36? No. 7? 8? 9? 4? Wait, you're offering me how much? F it, I'll lose the rest of my career. I'm not mad. But in order for me to feel like you're going all in, there has to be a defensive end signing. I'm leery of a guy like Josh Sweat leaving Philly because he plays in Philly. Trey Hendrickson, there's a cost, there are concerns. I'm just saying, the Marcus Davenport thing, I don't understand this team's affinity for guys who cannot stay healthy. I don't understand it.
He feels like he can fix them, Mike. He feels like, you know what? When you come here, we'll take care of you. And
Would you make it Derek Barnes? Good player, but did I need to commit 8.5?
And because that's what, did you just bid against yourself? Like, who else was going to come in here and swoop him up and pay him this ridiculous amount of money? I didn't think he was that hot on the open market. Like, oh, well, you got to re-sign him because, 5 other teams wanted him. You bid against yourself. You overpaid for him. And bring it. Good player, but I'm with you. I'm with John. You probably could have got him at a better price. But, hey, he's yours now.
The other problem I have is when you look at what the Jets decided to do, they paid Sauce and they paid their slot. You know who they didn't pay? DJ Reed. It's not a shot, but it's the same story I told you last year when the Bucs decided we want to invest in Jamal Dean. We don't want to invest in Carlton Davis. Why? Availability. So I'm not being negative. I'm being factual. I'm being real with you. It's fine. And before you call in and go, but Bob's football says he's the best corner on the market, that can be true. So can the fact be this is one of the worst free agent classes in the history of the National Football League. Go read anyone who you trust in football. This is a horrific free agent class. So I'm fine with it. I don't think they overpaid, but I don't have to do cartwheels to Belle Isle. I need pass rushers. I need a D-tack. I need a space eater up front. I got to see what they're able to do here. And Josh Sweat is now off the board. He's going to the Cardinals on a 4-year deal worth $76.4 million. So, look, maybe they just are going to go with the Almondine Muhammad experience, and it's going to be Aiden and company. I don't know, but I don't love it. I want someone opposite Aiden I can trust, I can bank on, I can rely upon. I can't do that with Marcus Davenport. Come on. And when 2 of my starting 4 guys are coming off of injuries where their legs exploded, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't expect them to hit the ground running. I do think there's a ramp up. And that doesn't mean they won't be good. But there is something about the plan here. And I'd love your guys' thoughts. It's your football team, 248-539-9797. Why is it that they don't want to spend more heavily up front? Why? You want to give it to us next? Do you want to be curious?
No, I'm going to give it to you because I do have an answer. So, yeah.
Well, I'd hope so. I mean, you are the professor.
I don't think that people will. Well, I think some Lions fans will understand what I'm going to say. The Brad bots, you won't like it.
All right, I'm here for it. I'm here till 6. Go ahead, tell them all about it.